Hi guys, it's Lou. I think it's the 26th of March, 2025. I tend to lose a day here and there. It depends on what I'm doing. And I did a couple videos yesterday, and a certain little few got to see them, but I took them down. So I got to thinking I shouldn't do that, especially after I got things fixed. Even a retraction is not good enough for if there was damage that I did. So I'm sorry if I did. Please do not. I don't know, because everything online is just, especially on Facebook, there's just massive advertisements for this product, okay? But they have all these different names for it. And the one that I went with was the one that was Barbara O'Neill, because I trust her. And it was her talking. But maybe it was AI. Maybe it was phony baloney stuff. But I feel much better. I feel much better that I found a phone number. I went to my mobile banking, and there was this little square thing that had a little teeny bit of information about the transaction. And one was a phone number. 866 usually precedes a phone number. It just didn't look like a phone number how they had it. But I wrote it down and called it. And it was them. And they fixed my problem. They pulled me right up. They knew who I was, what I ordered and stuff, and I told them, they charged me $239 when they were supposed to charge me $120. But what the guy was telling me is that and I'm saying the part about in fine print because I didn't see that. He's saying that in order to qualify for that deal, you have to buy 6 bottles. Well, see, he could also be confusing that a little bit because what you're doing is getting 6 bottles. You get 3 free, okay? But he was prompt to give me back my money. In other words, he did a refund of $120, and it won't show up for 2 or 3 days, but still, I got an email. And I told him, I says, why didn't I get an email on the other part? Because I didn't get an email. Well, yes, I did. It went to my junk. It went to the junk file. So, kind of screwed things up there. I mean, but I was kind of freaking out because I just had too much scamming in the last few years. In other words, people scamming you, taking your money. Anyway, I was just putting this, let me see, I can show you the box. What does the box look like? Can you see it? See the ring? All right. I don't know how to use it. I just barely got it put together and plugged it in. I haven't turned it on because there's a remote. Anyway, I tried to put it together, but it is best to follow directions. I went by the pictures, which showed me where things went. Thank you very much, Santa Claus. When I was at Nancy's house, and I wasn't going to be staying for Christmas, but it worked out that I did. And so we drew names. So they included me in their drawing of names. And plus, you can't not get those kids, those 2 little kids, a present. They're not little, but they are. They are, they're special. And I stayed with him for a while and got to know him. And Luke, he sends me a message every so often. Miss you bad. When are you coming back? And That makes me feel good, but also I hope that he's not too sad, you know. Nevertheless, at least I missed. That's cool. It's nice to know. So anyway, special hi. I know they won't see it, but special hi to Luke and Sienna. Oh, I know I sigh a lot, and I say I got a lot of things to do, and I wonder what I'm doing. It's like I'm plagued, right? I am plagued. Don't cry. The dog's sitting here with me. Let's see here. 2 hands. I'm used. I don't do it. Don't do it. I'm gonna have to hurt you before you hurt me, because that happens. You know, someone who's not that sure on their feet can get knocked over. And then if your bones aren't too hot, they might break. So I do have to worry about that. He's a good boy. He's a cute boy. He's just full of energy. Energy that I wish I had. I want to get up and just get moving and do things. Let's see. I know I skid all over the place, and I just act like you guys care, because really I'm talking to myself, and I do care. Okay, so where Jessica lives is my daughter. 1 street over, but I haven't gone walking over there, and I don't remember the exact days that they're open, but there's a historical society. And so I don't know really what will take place if they're open, if it's like a little museum, or if it's just, I don't know. But maybe it'll be like that. Maybe they have restored it and put in some furnishings and decorations from the time. Wouldn't that be cool? I love museums. I do like to go through stuff like that. Go back in time. So that was some of the words that I thought when I was doing the thought processes for writing my card. There were a lot of choices. I had papers and papers and papers. And then I would work along with the characters that I was allowed. I tried to use them all up. You know, what is that? I call it my bang for my buck. I wanted to advertise. And what it is an introduction to me and to my channel. The very first line, it says, visit with Lou's Touch on YouTube. That's the top line, the biggest line. And then the next line, what is the next line? Be as wise as a serpent. No, that's not it. I should get my card so I'm not misspeaking. And see, I've already forgot what it was that I wanted to write that I didn't get to write. There was something really good, because it brought tears to my eyes just now. That's why I couldn't talk. I can't talk and cry at the same time. And I can't sing and cry at the same time. I've always been on and off as far as going to church goes. I was just thinking about when I was in Perryton, Texas. I didn't go to church forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and then I finally did. And then Mom and Dad moved. But everybody knew Mom and Dad, because they had been going there from the get-go. And it's just a small little town, and people had to drive. Some of them had to drive 30 miles to come to church. And we did that when I was young. when I was in the 8th grade, we were driving 30 miles to go to a little teeny part of a church because it was a branch. There were not enough people to warrant having the big building. And the church has been building buildings for a way long time because, well, I was in, okay, I'm going to get a little confused on that. I forgot the whole thing by the time I was trying to figure out something else. That's not a good sign, is it? I just don't follow my brain well enough, and I have so many thoughts coming at the same time. Then there I go. Which way was I? Does anybody understand that? I bet a few of you do. And yes, I did. I indulged. Enough said. So anyway, I put this little dillywop together, which was a present from Christmas at Nancy's house. And it wouldn't be called a dillywop. It is a ring. And it's a tripod. So it can hold my phone. I hope I have it turned up, but maybe it doesn't matter. I think, I'm not sure if it was Jessica, but it seems like Jessie said she didn't think it mattered. Because I always worry if I have it turned up or not about the time I've already started and gone through, and I didn't tell you. Did I tell you the date? Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the date is, and I said I missed one, I think. I think it's the 27th, but maybe yesterday was. And since you're my phone, that's where I would find out. Let me look at my iPad. I'm always losing track of time. Today is the 27th. That's what I started to say. I made a couple videos for yesterday, but I took them down. So I was really quite distraught over thinking I had been screwed around again. And by who? People that I trust their name. Dr. Barbara O'Neill. I listen to her. I recommend her. And I would sure hate to find out that she was a crook. You know what I'm saying? And I know sometimes it could just be that someone else is using your name and you don't even know. But they gotta know. I mean, someone went to a whole big lot of money expense to put those ads on there. I mean, that's not cheap. And it was like all these different ads, all about the same thing, except for some of it they had changed to blood pressure. The one that I did buy was for blood sugar. And yes, it could just be a big old scam, but I'm sure hoping it's not. And I was worried that the products that they're selling on Amazon and on Walmart, they have products that are similar. So I don't know if the exact contents are the same. These are the ones that I got, I paid more for than what I found at Walmart. I found it at Walmart. So you can go there and look. I think it was 5 bottles for $45 there. I paid $120 for 6. But there was that concern that she said this was hers and the others were knockoffs and stuff. So I don't know. Because a lot of times I take generic because that's the only thing I can afford. You know what I mean? But sometimes we should spend the extra money if we can. But no, I probably could have just got the stuff at Walmart. Except for that Barbara was, the one behind it and talking about it and did a big old lecture on it. And I mean, they put a really professional thing together if it's a phony baloney. But I know that, like she said, diabetes is a massive amount of money is being spent on diabetes every year. she said the sales, see, I might be getting it a little bit wrong because sometimes there's sales and then there's profits from the sales. So you can't really tell. You can see how much they sold it for. Reached $1 billion last year. Is that worldwide or is that just America? I don't know if she was saying metformin. I think she might have been saying metformin. I shouldn't say things that I don't know for a fact, but we were talking about metformin. She was talking about metformin. Because it's the first thing they go to give you for they find out you got high blood sugar and smack, they've got you on metformin. And then you just see how you go. But I didn't realize it had all those super bad side effects. I just figured a lot of the things I was going through was aging. You know, you're getting older. The natural course of things. But what if it's the damn medicine they put us on? Weak legs. What's just happening? Part of it probably could be to do with high blood sugar. So I haven't tested my blood sugar. I'm just taking my pills, except for I'm not. My cancer doctor told me to get off of metformin. My primary care person, which is a nurse practitioner, she wanted me to stay on it. And then if my numbers were super califragilistic, you know, then we would take one away. She wanted to take one away and not both. And I'm going, you know, but so that's in my mind too. That could be part of it. But part of the side effects for metformin. I want to say it's weak legs, but it's not. It's muscle eggs, and I'm not sure if it was leg muscle eggs. But muscle eggs covers your whole body is muscles, right? Part of your bones and your muscles and your tendons. Your network of stuff keeping you together, making you work the drawstrings of the puppet. And your brain is making the drawstrings work until they run out of juice or the elastic broke. So I wonder what will happen if I turn this light on. We'll test it. I took my glasses off. So there's this little like remote thing. I'm going to put my glasses back on in order to read it. So I know that I go here, there, and everywhere when I'm talking, and then I forget what I've said. That's part of it, is not knowing which path did you go down. Side note, I'm over here looking at a cat laying on my bed. There is a big difference. There's a big difference between cats and dogs being on your bed. But, you know, the dog goes outside and I know because I had dogs. They walk through everything. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, so their feet are not clean. You don't want that on your bed. You know, and whatever's on the top of your bed goes through to the bottom. I mean, to the mattress. Excuse me. I had a house full of German Shepherds, though. I lived with German Shepherds. I was one of the dogs. I was a pack leader, really. What I had was, I was the head. And then I had a dog that was the enforcer. I didn't make him that way. He just chose that calling. In other words, I would scold a dog for doing something, and he was right there to tear their throat out, almost, you know. In fact, I did see him grab their face and shake them, but not because I told him to. just so you had to watch how you used your tone of voice, but you gotta talk to him with a certain tone of voice for him to listen to you. Anyway, I don't remember what the situation was. All I know is Clyde was the enforcer. But before Clyde, what I had was, we had a litter that had 7 boys and 1 girl. And these were Princesses and Lancelot's puppies. And they grew up totally different than Lady's and Lancelot's puppies. Princesses, her dogs had different colors. She and Lady were sisters, okay? And they were black with cream on their legs, and maybe a little in their chest, I can't remember. And then the eyebrow things, the different markings. So beautiful. Lady was shorter and muscular, just as long. Princess was long and sleek and slender, and their hips were different. Hers, like Princess's hips at the back, like tucked under. I don't know how to explain it, but kind of tucked under. Whereas Lady's, take a race car that's got the wheels on the outside, and the little, whatever those little cars are the kids play with, Power Wheels, something like that. Anyway, her hips were like on the outside. So here's her back, and then her hips they stuck out. But she was super, super muscular. Lady was. And Dad's dog, that was Lance, came out of Lady and Lancelot. Her pups looked like the German Shepherd that you're used to seeing. I don't know what you call red and black, black and red. Some are black and brown. And then there's another kind, but I don't claim to know all that stuff. I just know that ours were called, I didn't find out for years, they were called a bicolor. Beautiful. So mostly black with red markings or tan markings, because it seemed to me they had tan. So they might have, Lancelot was the red, black and red, the dad. So his genes were in there, because a lot of the dogs look just like him, a lot of the puppies that we produced. But Princess's pups, I started to tell you about that. I had 7 boys, and they grew up tall and long and muscular, and I didn't find homes for them until after they grew up, kind of. So I got to be with them while they were going through all their stages. They go through stages too, like, you don't want to call it puberty, but adolescence or whatever, where they're starting to feel their oats and they think they're all that. Yes, that's right. You heard me. We know that our children do that. They get to a certain age. What? Yeah. What was it? The terrible 2s and the horrible 3s? Something like that. Or you can reverse it. And then I'm not sure about all the other ages. But boy, teenagers. Wow. That's a trip. Anyway, I'm going to turn on this light and see what it does. This will be the first time, but it is plugged into the wall. So I just pushed a button. Didn't do anything. I might have to read some more instructions. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. I don't know if it has to charge up first before it'll work, because I did just open it up and plug it in. Wow, so I saw a light down there. Wiring can be a problem in all these old houses. But here's the deal. Okay, so back to the Historical Society. I don't know what I'll find there, but I was hoping maybe to find out a little bit of something about if you have a house that's over 100 years old, can you get a grant to renew it, to bring it back to what it was. I'm not saying my word right, but just like I need to go do with my little house. I have a house that was built in 1920, so it's what, 105 years old. It's a little dinky thing, but it could be a cute little cottage. It's got a nice sized lot. I've talked about it on here before, but it could be a cute little cottage. And as long as a person could drive, or if there's a way to get a ride, the hospital, unless something's changed, the hospital's 24 miles away. They might have a hospital in Osborne by now, but I don't know. Or maybe they already did. They probably did. Just a little thing. Because these are little places, okay? Downs was less than 1,000 people. So they were busybodies. Some of them. There were some that, if they didn't know what you were doing, they were making it up. And that's the truth. So I just say, when you go and you live in a place like that, you get out and you meet your neighbors, and you get out and you go to town meetings and see what's going on. Let them know who you are instead of letting them guess. And it's not just guessing. Joe, my husband at the time, had lived there. He'd lived there, and people knew him, and he was quite something. A little bit on the crazy side. I'm being generous. But you didn't mess around with him. That boy's a little powerhouse. Or he was once. I don't know about now. He's a small guy. But sometimes they got the most, their personality just kind of explodes out of them. Probably because they were picked on when they were young. The small one gets picked on. The big one gets picked on. Everybody gets picked on. Or maybe we just feel that we got picked on. Well, I don't know why the light's not working unless that's what it is. Sometimes you got to charge things up. I will hope that's what it is. Right now I'm in here without the light on. I'm in front of a window, so there's a light coming in the window. What light through yonder window breaks? I don't know the rest, but I know it's Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. Well, I can see my veins. I can see the colors of them anyway. Sometimes I look and you can't see it, but you can see it, right? It's not that big part that's blue, but this little part, that little part, that part. It is hard to see them, but I was looking the other day and I couldn't see them at all. And I don't know, but I haven't put my ointment on in a long time. I should be doing that. Put it on the back of your hands where those veins are. There's a cluster. Oh no, you can't see them. Oh, you can see his old skin. Old person hands. Let me turn on the light. Oh, just like Romeo and Juliet. And at least, you know, even if I can't get the light to work, it's still going to hold you up in the air for me. And I can turn it around to do the other side, but I thought I would try and see what happens if I do it from here. Meaning I've got it turned sideways. I can't hold it like that for very long. But we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be something good. I'm just excited to have it all together, and thank you very much, Nancy Caroline. I don't know. I didn't bring my water up here. I came up here. I don't know if I came up here to put that thing together or not, but that's what I ended up doing. I need to be productive. I need to go through all my stuff, do some more, like my daughter calls it, purging, which is true. I do. I need to purge. But I don't know. See, it's so sideways. But I don't like it when I take it the other way, then you've just got this skinny thing. In other words, half the screen is black, and then in the middle is where my video is. Now, if you turn your tablet or your iPad, whatever, because that is a tablet, you turn it sideways, then my picture, everything will just fill up the whole screen. In other words, when you turn it sideways, it's tall. It's tall. See, the rectangle is tall that way. But if you turn it sideways, then my video takes up the whole page. So you don't have that extra black stuff. So right now, don't matter. I'm just trying out my light, and I'm trying out this sideways stuff. So I know when I was, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called landscape. You know, the sideways stuff is what I'm saying, where you've got your camera turned sideways. And it takes up the whole screen, gives you a nice, if you're outside and you've got beautiful surroundings all around you, then you've got a beautiful, everything is beautiful. And then you're just a little part of it. And yes, I know, I need to go walk. I don't think the wind ever ceases to blow here. Yes, I'm making up excuses. No, they are real excuses. I don't like to be uncomfortable. I don't like to be cold. I do need to make an appointment, figure out how to go get my eyes done and get a pair of glasses. I've just always been going to Walmart, but I don't find frames that I like there. I mean, if there's a possible beautiful frame you can have. In fact, I really did think about just going to readers. I think that's what my brother did this last year. He got readers, prescription readers. See, I can't see. I can see enough, but there is a blur to it. Once upon a time, I had a friend who believed that our eyes can get lazy and that we need to give it exercise or something. But, you know, there might be something to that. But there's also other things. That's another thing. There's so many things Barbara O'Neill has videos on, you know, like your vision, clearing up your vision. And anything I say on here that's repeating somebody else, please just take it with a grain of salt, okay? You have to go and look yourself, because I'm sure I could have something wrong. I can't be responsible for any of that stuff. I just don't know. I've got to fix my hair somehow. I don't know if it's going to be possible. It's like I almost hate to lay down on the pillow and go to sleep, and then you're tossing and turning in your sleep, pulling your hair out. So if I don't find hair anywhere, I mean, there would be telltale signs. It's just that I think it can just get thinner and thinner. I don't know. But they do have things that might can help it grow back. I've got, I put it in my cart. That's what I do. When I need something, I go and find it and put it in my cart. And I wait until I have enough to get free shipping. And yes, I belonged to them once before, but I don't now. And I was very upset with them because someone hacked into my stuff, and somehow, I don't know if it was a full hack, but whatever they did, they bought something and I paid for it. And then Amazon blamed me. And so they shut me off. Because they said something similar happened to this, happened like this within the last year or 2 years or whatever. But I had bought so many movies. I about had a cow over that. But I did get to keep my movies for a while, but I don't have my movies now. There's a fortress of them. I bought a bunch of them. Because when you're on Amazon Prime, and it's not probably even just Prime. If you're on Amazon, sometimes their movies, they have really great deals. But if you buy them, they're digital. Okay, not all of them. I bought digital ones, so you could just pick and choose which one you wanted to play at any time that you wanted to play it. And they would have deals. They would come out with deals on, for a short period of time. Certain ones were on for pretty cheap. Then really at Christmas time, there was a ton of Christmas movies that might have been 99 cents or $1.99. I had the whole Harry Potter series. I'm remembering now. I can't remember all the stuff that I had. All the Good Witch stuff. Those were the things I went to sleep with. Because I've had a hard time sleeping forever, and a lot of it had to do with nightmares or seeing bad things on my way out. So it's good to have a timer, have it set for 30 minutes, and then have it shut off. You'll probably sleep through the night and not have any problems. I just had a hard time getting to sleep. And I find these days, if I leave the music playing or something playing, it's got to be really low, because anymore it's just like noise. It's like, okay, how am I supposed to sleep with that on? But I try to play the same thing over and over again, and if you don't know, it just helps, because if you're watching something that you haven't seen before, then you want to stay awake and watch it, right? So if you watch something you've seen a million times, your head already knows it and starts going through you, and it doesn't stop you from going to sleep. It helps. I mean, there were times I went to sleep with Harry Potter, Sorcerer's Stone, probably for 10 years. And the DVD that I had, which I assume all of them were like that, it would get to the end and it would start over and play again. So it played all night long. I didn't go with silence. You probably need to go with silence. Have it play and then shut off. And if you're not asleep, you can turn it back on if you want to. Like I said, I used it for that situation. And I also used the Good Witch. And I've noticed if I put the Good Witch on here, I think it'll play all night long. It's a series, and there are also some movies. When it very first came out, the Good Witch, it was movies. I think they did one per year. I'm not sure, because I didn't have it back then. I find out about things later. But I enjoyed the Good Witch, and it didn't have anything that would stir on bad dreams. You know what I mean? I like things happy, peaceful, sweet. Not that they're all always, but there's not killing and raping and all kinds of bad things. Things that we should not be doing, and I certainly don't want it in my sleep. I choose to control my environment as far as I can. If it's something offensive to me, I have to leave. I mean, there are things that I've watched that weren't necessarily my cup of tea. And if I was in my own place, they wouldn't have been on the TV. But that's because we have different taste. To some people, it's no big deal, all that stuff that I've been telling you guys about when I've been saying cover up. Put on your clothes, man. Then there's the vulgar language and the vulgar thoughts. Things, things that I wouldn't choose to have in my life. My environment, so that it's going into my head and I have no choice. I'm doing okay. We're doing great. I didn't know if we would, but so far we're doing okay. But things can change. My situation can change. I'm hoping my situation does change really well for the good. In fact, I should go try to find something. I was thinking this morning that I might make potatoes and onions. But see, potatoes aren't necessarily good for you if you're a diabetic, okay? But I could have portion size is the deal. So I could make me a potato and I could slice it and dice it and put butter and salt and pepper, and I got them going on in my head, but I haven't come to the right one. Sour cream, that's the right one. Deck out a potato and just love it. The sour cream and the butter will help crisscross out some of the carbs because the butter is a good fat and it does something. It has something to do with how it digests and whatever that other thing was, the sour cream. Anyway, sounds really good to me. And you know what? I don't think I've taken my pills today. Okay. I haven't. Today is Thursday, right? Okay. Yes. Thursday the 27th. I've got to get some, I'm talking about these kind of things where you put your pills in for each day. On the top of it, all my black letters have mostly gone away. I have to kind of figure out which day it is. But, so now I've got my pills in my hand, and I do not have any, well, I do. See, I don't have my water up here. But I have something else that I can have. I've got to be making sure I take all this liquid. See, I don't know. I don't know if it's such a good idea that I need my bones to build up, though. I know, I talk to myself. It's just the way it is. Okay, so. I don't know if I can hold it and have you see it. But it's called letrozole. And that's for making me not produce what I need. Because we need our hormones to be plump, to be moist. So I don't know. This little pill's stopping it from being produced. Or trying to, whatever. And then those injections they're giving me are stopping, degrading the receptors. So whatever is produced can't get through the receptors. So, I mean, even men have female hormones. So I'm not really thinking it's a good idea. But if I can get my bones built up, just hope and pray that my next PET scan is even better than this one. Like maybe twice as good. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I'm going to take my ivermectin more often. But I do need to, I really should go back and write down all the dates when I took it. I haven't been keeping track. You see this pill? See how big that is? Okay, it's not a pill. It is, I don't know what it is. It's like a gel capsule, but it's got color to it. I'd have to find it and really investigate. But it has the exact amounts of what I need. That one capsule that I just took has 1,200 milligrams of calcium and a unit, so I think 1,000. Whatever that little number is, but it's one. I don't know, I'm not going to go look for it right now. But it has what I need in it. In other words, when to make that IV work to help build up my bones, I have to take 1,200 milligrams of calcium. And I think they were saying like 800 units, but I think what I've got is 1,000. But those two components with the liquid that I'm supposed to drink every day, I'm supposed to drink 64 ounces. Consume 64 ounces. It doesn't have to be drinking. I could have a soup. But I do need to do that. I need to concentrate on that because I think that's what's wrong with my kidneys. I think it could cause kidney damage if I don't. So I need to get with the program. It's just too much to remember. Okay, so that one was biotin. And I don't know, 10,000 mcgs of biotin. Well, that was cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon, which is from a certain area. I'm not sure what the deal is, but they say you need Ceylon cinnamon. I hate taking all these pills. So just recently, I have been rebelling because I don't want to take all these pills. I guess I got to take that back off. I bought a liver detox. I don't know if I showed that to you, but it's got the things in it that helps you with your liver. If your liver doesn't work, I don't think you're going to work. So anyway, I'm going to take one of these. I don't know if you can see. They're like a cream color. But my dad always took vitamin C. I mean, he didn't take enough of it, really. But he did. Okay, because a lot of you think that 1,000 mgs, you probably think, oh, I'll just take one a day. Okay? But through an experience that I had years ago, way years ago, I had trench mouth. And they said it was called that because of the stress that people go under when they're in the trenches and bullets are flying and all that stuff. So I don't know if it was just like comparing it to that. But I was suffering from malnutrition really bad. And I had removed a tooth. I had him remove a tooth because I thought the tooth was the problem. Okay. And my normal dentist was gone. It was his son that was there. But anyway, the point is, get to the roundabouts, because that was quite a story. So I went in and told him what the problem was, and he pulled the tooth. Well, I didn't need to lose that tooth because that wasn't the problem. 2 weeks later, I should have been well, way well, and I wasn't. So I was calling for pain meds, and so by then, my real dentist, his father, had come back home. So he told me to get in there. So I went in there to see him. He looked in my mouth. He about had a cow. He's out in the hallway saying blah, 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 stat. Not going, oh my. Anyway, they put some purple stuff in my mouth, to kill whatever. It stained my gums and everything purple, violet. But the whole point of that whole story that I'm telling you is the hygienist told me, she said, you can have up to 10,000 a day, 10,000 units or whatever they call it, 10,000 mgs. Okay, so I didn't get one out and take it. I didn't get one out. My dad would always take one of these or two of these a day. Sometimes he would take one in the morning, one at night. And that's pretty good. But if you're in dire straits and you need some help, vitamin C helps build tissue. So, I'm telling myself this too because I'd forgotten that. Vitamin C helps build tissue. So you could take like one of these 1,000 mgs every 2 hours that you're up. Because you're going to sleep 8, so there's 24 hours in a day. That leaves 8 and 8 is 16. That leaves 16 hours. So every 2 hours, that means basically 8. So it's still less than 10,000. But I'm just saying, if you're in dire straits and you need help building up your tissue, maybe one every 3 hours. You don't have to be, you could just say one every time you think about it. Because hopefully you're not going to sit there and just think about it. But he always had it on the coffee table. And if he was getting sick, if he could tell he was getting sick, he would take more. But he would sure make sure he had his vitamin C. All right, so this is my vitamin C. So it's better to have food that has the vitamin C in it. And what I did do, for those of you who are wondering, is I did have a smoothie today. And what I did was I only did blueberries. I did walnuts, flaxseed, blueberries. And then I put that scoop of the super greens that had the 50 superfoods in it. You can't get very much of that many things in that little bit of thing. I'm not saying it very well, but I would sure hope that I reap some benefit from it. Plus, it's supposed to help alkalize. So in that smoothie, I had added that, and then I went ahead and had a half a cup of the Slim Fast. It's just better. So if you drink it right down, or if you can take it right down, it's okay when you can't, but it's just not as good. But you can put it in the freezer and freeze it back up. So anyway, liver detox. It's got milk thistle in it, and it's got dandelion root, but I don't remember all the other stuff. I think turmeric is in it. And I got it off of not Walmart, the other one, Amazon. Advanced Detox and Cleanse Formula. Milk thistle, dandelion root, turmeric, leaf, artichoke leaf, and more. GMO free, soy free, and vegetarian. Oh, and that's a couple of things that Barbara O'Neill said, and some of the things I was listening to, which I guess we're all on Facebook about blood sugar. So what was it she was saying? Oh, potassium levels not being good and magnesium. Those two things are real important, and it might be to do with the blood sugar. But also, it seemed to me like there was a whole bunch of different ads, and some of them were talking about blood pressure, and some were talking about blood cholesterol. I might be speaking out of turn on the cholesterol, but I just found it interesting. It was like they changed the name. The labeling was real close, but the name was different. And it was helping something different. But I'm just wondering if the one particular one that I'm getting, if it won't help everything, because it's all included. I mean, it's all kind of together. You get high blood sugar, high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol. We got a pill for all of them. I know, I was talking about the historical society, because I would like to find out if there's any way, if they help people out that have houses that old, what the criteria would be. And I know this is a whole different state, but I would think they'd be similar. I need to find out the one that goes to where my house is. Kansas. I have a little house in Kansas, and it's a way little thing. And it hasn't had utilities on it forever. I mean, I paid for the utilities for a long, long time, but then I just had them shut them off. Again, like the storage units, just like, okay, you're wasting your money. I have paid utilities in houses for a long time that I shouldn't have been. There's one right now I'm still paying utilities on, and I can't be doing that. So, there's things that I need to do. I've just been putting it off, and I gotta not put it off. Got things I need to do. Get my ducks in a row, so to speak. Just give me some kind of sign, girl. Oh, my baby. Show me that you're mine, girl. Oh, yeah. Milk thistle seed powder. Dandelion root powder. Turmeric, whatever, root powder. Artichoke leaf powder. Beetroot powder. Good. Okay. Probably not very much. And burdock root powder. Both of those two had 50 mg's each. Whereas the artichoke leaf powder is 100, turmeric root is 100, dandelion root powder is 100, milk thistle seed powder is 300 mg's, zinc is 30 mg's, and choline, I don't know what that is. It's got 12 mg's of it, amounts per serving. Okay, well, I can't tell what all has got this. I mean, you know, the different amounts, but those are in little capsules. But I know that they put a big formula together and then it goes into the capsule. So I don't know how, if they must test them, huh? How they can say what one has in it. But they can. Advanced Detox and Cleanse Formula. Liver Detox. Serving size is 1 capsule. And I got 180 in this jar, bottle, whatever. Store at room temperature. Keep out of reach of children. Manufacturer, Directions. As a dietary supplement for adults, take 1 capsule daily, preferably with a meal, or as directed by a healthcare professional. Well, I didn't take it with a meal, but I had a smoothie, and I had it with my other stuff mixed in. I like it with just the milk. The whatever that stuff is. The super greens that I just got. And I got the shaker cup. So you can shake it all up. You can use milk or water. I think it is a lot better with the milk. And I still haven't been doing the baking soda. I've done it, but I don't have, yes I do. I was going to say I don't have any liquid, but really you should take it with water. The only liquid I've got up here is pop. What's going on? Okay. No wonder it didn't work. Okay. It helps if you plug it in. Now we'll see what happens when I push on a button, because now there's a blue light shining down there on this remote. Oh my, there's a light. Okay, so I've got it on. What does that do? There's a mode, okay. I think I like that one. I don't know. So that's yellow. That one is white. That one seems like it's got a blue tint. Well, I think I like the blue the best. And then, okay. That's cool. So you can turn it down because the light will bother me. That's really good. Okay, cool beans. Well, I don't know if you ever see my stuff, Nancy Caroline, but I didn't really unbox it for everybody, but basically I did just take it out and put it together. And this is the first time I've used it. And I think that's cool. I don't know what will happen if I turn the light out. I should try that. Let's see what it does. I might put it the other way because there's just so much stuff over here. But nevertheless, people, I've been on over an hour, so I guess I should get off and see what's going on. I need to go get some food. Is what I need to do because I'm hungry and I'm feeling the adverse effects of being hungry. So pretty soon here I'll be trying to read something else to you, but I'm not sure what. Because I don't know if I can keep track of what I'm doing if I keep skipping around. When I do one whole book, at least I know it's done. But it'll be more diverse if I scatter. Sometimes that's okay. Yeah, the kids are home from next door. I think that's who he's barking at. I just heard kids walking by talking. So I was talking about Historical Society. One street over, basically right behind us. So I need to figure out how to get over there without having to go around the block. We've got an alley. We have a fence. You can walk through to the alley. But I don't know about walking through someone else's property to get to the street on the other side. That could be possible. Save a lot of time. And in some places we'll get some buckshot in your butt. Meaning, what do you call that? A shotgun. Buckshot. Not butt. B-U-T-T. But yes, it could be. In other words, don't be walking on my property. But then, you know, some people understand and they're nice about it. Because it saves you a lot of footsteps if you can go straight through instead of down and up and around. Especially if you're like me. I gotta get better off. Yeah, I can hear a lot of noise out there. It might be in their house. The houses are so close. And there's a window right over there, so they could have something playing, you know, like a TV playing. Well, this is exciting. So my light works. It made it here. I got it Christmas Eve, and I left Christmas Day to come here. And so it's been in my suitcase up until now. I've had it out, but in my closet. So I just took it out of the box. I need to make sure I keep all that stuff in case I need to travel again. But it's a good way to pack it up so it doesn't get broke. It's exciting. So I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate you being subscribers and putting up with that notification that's always on there saying, hey, I guess it's not always there anymore because I don't do it every day. But I need to see what I can do while I can do it. Meaning a lot of things. You know, my attention might get a different path to go down. And if that happens, I'm not sure how often I'll be here. Okay, because it does take time. But right now I have time. I'm hoping that the attention I'm talking about is, you know, like a change in my life. Something wonderful to happen where I have different avenues that I need to go down. Hello, doggy. No, I know. See, he wants to get on my bed, but I just can't let him get on my bed. And he sees the cat up there. I'm sure he wonders, how come she gets to be up there and I don't? Cats do clean themselves pretty good. Dogs, no, they go run through poop. They don't care. They bring it into the house so it's in the floor and it's on the chair and it's in everywhere. I don't want it in my bed. I mean, if you don't clean up the poop, which a lot of people don't go out and clean up the poop, you know, after a while it'll go away. But in the meantime, the dog has ran through it a few times. More than a few. No, that was a rotten subject, so take that back. I didn't say that. Oh, what could I say? I'm already past an hour, so I ought to just shut up. I don't have enough room on my table now for my I want that. I can't have that either. What should I do? I should say goodbye to you. Okay, maybe I will. But I still wish that there was some great thing I could impart. For those of you, I'm going to impart some stuff. For those of you who have plenty of money right now, I mean, you're making money, so you have money left over and you're wondering what to do with it. Where can I spend it? You need to make a stash. You need to have a place that you can stash extra money. Don't just spend it to spend it. You stash money, and then when you need it, it helps to have, I mean, the really good deals out there, go to somebody who can take advantage of it right now. In other words, they have to be able to go and find the money to give up for that which they want. And a lot of times you can get a really good deal on something because you're in the right place at the right time and you got the money. You heard that expression, it's not a good one. Cash talks and bullshit walks. Yeah, it's not a very nice saying, but it's the truth. You know, you can go up to somebody who's got something and they have a set price and they're not budging. But if you go and they haven't sold it yet and you've got the cash to put in front of their face, in their hand, they'll take less. They aren't stuck on that price anymore. You know, in the very beginning, you're wanting to see what you can get. So then you take the chance. If you don't want to pay full price, you take the chance on losing it. So it just depends on how bad you want it. Depends on how bad they want to sell it and how bad you want it. Your ability to your your ability to cough up the cash. I'm trying to cough. Oh, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, wait a minute. Let me go check out my closet situation here. See how much money I got in there. Okay, so I'm dazing away. Sorry about that. I can't seem to clear my throat either. I need to go down and drink some water. Because what I had was a smoothie and it had the milk in it, you know. And I'm feeling like I've got a headache and I don't like that. I haven't had a headache, very much of a headache in a long time. So I've had one recently and I've got one right now. So I don't like that. And I almost think I do see pink in my nose. Hopefully, hopefully there's some color in my face instead of it being yellow. It really did. It really did look yellow. I thought the word they used was sallow, but that's the word I used. They used pale. Pale to yellowish looking skin. And that described me, so that was one of the side effects from metformin. Headaches was another one. And I've been plagued with headaches, you know. I had a hard time with my blood pressure too, and that'll cause headaches. Yeah, so I can feel that pounding right there. If you can feel it and get it to go through your fingers, then you don't feel it. But I do. I need to find out what time is it. Maybe I'll go make me a tater with sour cream and butter and salt and pepper. Sounds really good. You guys take care. Do your best to feed yourself too. I don't know how much nutrition's in there, but at least you're putting something through your system. You know, it goes in, it comes out. I had a boyfriend tell me once, you know, you have to put something in to get other stuff out. It sends a message to move stuff when you eat. So remember that. Take care. I'll talk to you guys later, okay?